Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. This is Abdul Malik, and today I will talk about fallacies. So, whenever you have an argument with someone, there are some fallacies that you should be aware of. So, let's start with the definition of a fallacy. Basically, a fallacy means is the failure in reasoning that makes an argument invalid. And there is another definition to make it more simple. That would be misleading, basically, or unsound argument. So let's say, just giving an example of an argument with a fallacy. Okay, so to give an example of a fallacy, it's basically, so let's say, okay, I will give you some fallacy that happened to me when I had an argument with some guy. So we went to this restaurant, and we ate our food, and then once we finished, so I grabbed my stuff and threw it in the trash, and I expected everyone in like our table to do the same. I went, washed my hand, and while I was going out, I looked at our table, and then I found like some stuff still like in there, and it's like a fast food restaurant. It's not like a fancy restaurant where you leave your stuff and go. So I went to like the car with the guys, and I was like, "Come on, guys! Like, what's going on? Like, you left your stuff back in the table. Like, why? You should just grab your stuff and throw them in the trash." And the guy who actually did not do that, he did not say, "Oh yeah, I forgot" or something. He actually made a fallacy. He said that, "Oh, you know what? You always like come in this car and leave your stuff and then go." And then I was like, "Oh yeah, actually, the owner of the car, like my other friends, he said like, yeah, I actually spoke to him about it. I was like, yeah, I'm sorry, just like sometimes I forget it, and I will try to not do it again." But that's not my argument with you. Like, my argument is why you did not throw your stuff in the trash once you were done eating. So we're talking about the restaurant. We're not talking about me not throwing the stuff or forgetting some stuff in my friend's car. So that's a fallacy. When I talk to you about something, you go around and talk to me about some other thing other than our like argument, this specific thing. So that's an example of a fallacy that happened to me recently. And like every time you have an argument, if you think about it a little bit here and there, you will find a fallacy. And just a heads up with the fallacies. Um, like some fallacies are right. Like my friend is right. Like I did not do that, and it's like a similar thing, but that doesn't mean it's right. If you like get what I mean. So yes, I did forget that thing, but this is another argument. That's not the same thing. That's why the logic of what is my friend is making is a fallacy. Okay, so I would start with the first fallacy. Fallacies are like just a heads up on them. Fallacies are a lot, but I would say I would give you the the most important fallacies that you guys. I felt like the most common things that people use. So there are many, a lot. There are over 100 or maybe around 100. I'm not quite sure how many are they, but the one I have here is like this is 3, 6, 9, 11, 16, 18. I will give you guys 18. So I would just start to describe two or three fallacies for this day, and tomorrow we will carry on the other fallacy. So the first fallacy, it is the non-squitter. So okay, أو عدم الترابط, as we say in Arabic. And it basically says that so basically it means when there is no connection between like the information given and the results. You remember? What does that supposed to mean? Okay, so always an example, clears everything and makes everything really clear. So it says here, Omar is a guy, a name of a guy, lives in a huge building. So Omar lives in a big apartment. Okay, when someone lives in a big building, that doesn't mean he or she lives in a big apartment. Maybe he's just like he just have a small place. I mean, maybe he may even only have like a room and a bathroom, nothing else. You never know. Or maybe he have like a whole floor for himself. But you cannot say if this is the information, then this basically is the result of something. And Umar is the example of that. Second fallacy is a tahrif, a straw man. And the definition of that would be a distortion of someone's argument to make an easily criticism on their argument and makes my own argument looks strong and logical. So the example given is Saleh and Mazen. So basically Saleh said we need to increase the budget of education and health. And what Mazen said, I just wonder why and by how much does Saleh hates his own country, and why he doesn't wanna protect his own country, be, because he want to decrease the budget of military. So this is like, even when I try to say the example given here, so it basically the example describes everything. So it's a clear fallacy. So Saleh here is not decreasing any other budget. He is just making a point on education and health. He's just saying that we need to increase the budget of these two things. So Mazen here is using criticism on Saleh's argument. So if you like basically he's saying that if you increase this thing, you gotta decrease something to use the other thing. So if we increase the budget on education and health, then basically we actually have to decrease the budget on military and yeah, and on military. But this is not what Saleh is saying. He's not saying that we need to decrease that. Like there are many other options maybe, but he like his argument that we need to increase. This is his argument. We need to increase the budget of education and health, and that's basically the second fallacy.